Today on CityCast DC, there are so many great places to grab coffee in DC. It's a real cafe hotspot. And digital creator Domonique Panton of As Told by Dom is making it her mission to visit every single one in DC. Here's her guide to the best underrated cafes in the district. Today's Monday, July 8th. I'm Bridget Todd, and here's what DC is talking about. Dom, welcome to the show. I have to tell you, I'm kind of fangirling because I follow you on Instagram. I am a big fan, so I'm very excited.
Hey.
Yeah, I have to say, you make your life in DC look so beautiful, and it is such a good reminder to me to romanticize my life and see the positive, see the ways that it's really cute or really fun. So whenever I'm walk into a coffee shop and getting coffee, it's so easy to be in my head and be like, oh, just another day. Ugh. And when I see your content, it reminds me to not take it for granted and find the little things that make it worth doing.
I don't know. The city is just so different than where I grew up. I grew up in the suburbs. And when I got here, because I was living a completely different life, because I was a track and field athlete before I retired, I was like, I'm just going to, just enjoy being here and see what DC has to offer if I'm going to live DC proper. And I was like, I love going to coffee shops. And I was like, I can just go to coffee shops and just live those, I don't know, I'm in a TV show, I'm like, let me go to a different coffee shop. I'm the main character right now, and I'm going to have good coffee, good vibes, and maybe meet up with a friend. So I'm really happy, though, that my content makes you feel that way, too.
Yes, you inspire me to give, Black woman Lorelai Gilmore energy, just holding a little coffee cup and walking around the city.
Yes.
So what makes a good coffee shop, in your opinion?
I would say that there's a couple things. One, I would say the biggest thing is the atmosphere when you first walk into a coffee shop is something that I personally put a lot of value on. So are the baristas nice? Is the music sounding good? How do you feel when you first walk in? And then obviously the coffee. I typically get the same coffee order every single time.
What's your order?
Cold brew with oat milk and 2 sugars. Every time. So it's really easy for me to I've kept that in all of my videos as well. So I try to see if it's a balanced cup of coffee. Is the oat milk overpowering it? Or is the sugar, I can taste the sugar at the bottom because that's never fun. Is it too burnt? Is it smooth? What type of coffee? But it's a whole mix of different things. What was the experience?
I mean, all these little things really matter. There's nothing worse for me when I go into a coffee shop and the music is too loud or not the right kind of music, or they only have one outlet that everybody's fighting over. It's the little things that really make these coffee shops pop. I know your goal is to visit every coffee shop in DC. You actually do a pretty good job. I see you on Instagram, all over the city. Mm-hmm. I can tell that you're taking great intention to not just keep it in one part of DC, but I know everybody listening is dying to know some of your favorite spots. Who out there is providing a good coffee experience? Let's start with if you are looking to splurge, you want to treat yourself. If you're me, you've had a terrible day and you deserve a little treat, or you've had a good day and you deserve a little treat, or just it's a day and you deserve a little treat. Where should I go?
Okay, if you are trying to have a treat, I would say go to Black Vinegar Collection, but that's a pop-up. I think their coffee is it's a sweet treat coffee. So it's a cold brew latte. They have I think they pop up on Mondays and Wednesdays and sometimes on the weekends. They have a whole Instagram, but that's a sweet treat. I had a great day. I need to go grab a cup of coffee from there, or Brew Cafe, because their nitro cold brew is so good.
Love a nitro cold brew. There's something about it coming out of the thing that just makes me feel so good.
It's so good. And it feels I don't know, I just how the foam comes at the top, and it's just, it's a great experience.
Okay, what about a coffee spot to just read or chill or hang? You're just looking for a chill vibe.
I would say Ebenezer's is a really good place to read and chill, especially on a warm day. They have the outdoor patio. Another one that I would say is Wine and Butter. That's in Capitol Hill. They have outdoor seating. There's no indoor seating for that one. But I think that's a early morning. I just want to relax and have a slow morning. kind of place.
Okay, so the production team of CityCast loves to co-work and they like to kind of prop up laptops in a coffee shop. So I know they're going to be interested in this. What about the
Mm-hmm.
best coffee shops to work from?
Okay, if you're like in the Columbia Heights area, even if you're not, I would say Tynan. That one is really good for working from home. I think their Wi-Fi is fast. They have a lot of outlets, so that's a amazing thing. And their coffee is good, so that's a good place. And then I would say Doubles, also in Columbia Heights. That's just like a nice space where they have picnic tables outside. They have good food. They have good coffee, and it's just like a good vibe.
Ooh, I'm in Columbia Heights, so I
Okay.
have been working from Tynan for many years, and you're so right about the
Yes.
outlets because there definitely is that thing where it's like outlet battle royale where there's like
Mm-hmm.
one in the whole coffee shop and everybody's kind of fighting over it. If you go to this spot, you will not have to deal with that, trust me.
You really don't.
What about for a fun or interesting or like funky ambiance?
I would say Coffee Republic right off of Metro Center. I think they also have one that opened up in Georgetown. That was a funky vibe. I don't know if it's like the music that they have, the purple lighting, and they have like seating in the back, but that's like, they have like fun coffee drinks and like the atmosphere in there is very like fun. Like it's a party when you step into that coffee shop.
Love coffee and a party. You can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What about the spot that has the best customer service? The nicest baristas, people in there are just very kind.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of them. Okay, the ones that come to my mind, I would say, because there's a lot of coffee shops here that have really, really nice baristas. I would say Rue Cafe has some of the nicest baristas, and they're always so kind every time I go in there. Buna Coffee House in Petworth, they're really, really nice people. And when you go in there, it's just like a family experience. That's what it feels like. And then I would say the last one that has really good customer service is Others Coffee, and they're a pop up. They pop up in the same spot in Adams Morgan. They're kind and they create such an amazing community. And I just love the vibe in there.
It really makes a difference. There used to be a coffee shop slash bakery in Mount Pleasant where the food and the coffee was great, but they were kind of known for like grumpy service. They didn't
Oh
even have
no.
public bathrooms. You probably, if you're listening and you live in Mount Pleasant and you've been there for a while, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And it really changed the math of going there where you're like, oh, I don't want to go in and like feel like I'm having to
Oh no.
endure grumpiness when I'm in here.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that actually ruins the whole experience. It's like, okay, I have a great cup of coffee, but like you're mean.
Okay, so best overall, best all around, best quality coffee in DC. Where you going?
Oh, that is such a hard question because there are a lot of places that have their own unique brew and different coffee beans have different qualities that I appreciate. So it's like so hard. I'm still figuring this out. But as of right now, I would say some of the best quality, I would say Rue Cafe, because they're one of my all time favorites. Filter DC has some really great quality coffee. And then one of my recent favorites is the roasting plant that just opened up in DuPont Circle. They have a whole bunch of beans that you can brew, and that's exciting. It's just a cool experience.
So, Dom, I know you're like a coffee girly, a coffee nerd, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
but is there any place in DC that you would go to if maybe you're a person who isn't a coffee drinker, but still wants the good cafe experience, still wants to get your Lorelai Gilmore on and like walk around with a cup of coffee?
Honestly, I feel like that's any of the coffee shops that I mentioned. I feel like that can give you that experience, especially because like you make that experience also. So I would say though, if you wanted to have that, like I have my coffee, I'm walking around DC. This is maybe cliche, but I would go to like the downtown Zeke's, that coffee shop in downtown DC, or right next to like the African American Museum. I'd grab a coffee from there and probably just walk around the monuments in the National Mall, play some good music, and live your best life.
That sounds like a beautiful day. And yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons why I so enjoy your content because, people don't think of DC all the time as this cute, charming, quirky city, but it really is. And it's a good reminder that you don't have to live in, Manhattan or Chelsea or whatever to enjoy this coffee shop vibe, that we've got a great coffee shop scene right here in DC.
Yeah, we have a lot of coffee shops. I'm pretty sure I'm going to surpass like 100 in the next like month or so.
Well, Dom, thank you so much for being here and thank you for what you're doing. If you ever wonder, like, who is the person in your Instagram comments that every time you do a run club is like, I'm going to join you next time, that is me. So I will see you in your Instagram comments. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
That's all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, share it with your coffee addict friend. You can rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with even more news from around the city. Talk to you then.